Alright everybody, this is the video clip that actually will collect few things together, kind of miscellaneous, for the third test. First of all, I would like to introduce the table. You can see here items for sale, right? And then cost for them, price that can be calculated, price plus tax, seller interests, and tax. Oh, by the way, folks, I don't see the border around price plus tax. Let me highlight this cells and apply all borders. Now you can see. Why seller interest and tax is just single cells? Because seller interest is single for all of these items, and tax is the same for all New York State. So now let me explain what is a price. We need to take the cost, and definitely whoever sell this is retail, need to add his own interest. For example, seller interest 15%. So we need to take 15% from the cost and add this to calculate price. So let's do this. Price will be equal sign. I can type B3, but I can click B3. That's no matter what. It will be reflected in the formula bar. Take a look, folks. I'll just click cost for the sandals. Click, and we have B3. Then we need to calculate addition that will reflect the interest of the seller plus seller interest multiplied by cost. And check. Then we will see after seller interest, it will cost $41.40. Then, folks, I would like to use seller interest as a percentage. Can I? I hope nothing will be changed if I click this cell, seller interest, and go to check this as percentage style. Let's try. You see, the price didn't change. By the way, tax is 800s. Could be also reflected as percentage. Let's click tax and click percentage. Usually tax is 7.87%, but I don't see numbers after decimal point. To make this, we need to go to these little two buttons. I would like you to pay your sharp attention. The left one is increased decimal numbers after decimal point, and this one is decreased. So I need to increase tax numbers after decimal point, and then click 1, you'll see 0, and click second time, you will see 2 zeros. Instead of this 8%, I need to put 7.81. This is percentage. The same with seller interest. I would like to make it a little bit sharper than this, but I need to make 15% increased 2 times. So we increase the precision of sales tax and seller interest. So now we can see 2 numbers after decimal point. I would like to populate price that we calculate with the formula that you can see here, which is cost plus cost multiplied by interest. And when we populate it, we must see the price against the cost. But what's happened, folks? Take a look. The first cell actually reflects the cost and the price, but second, third, and others just repeated the cost. The reason is very simple. The cells after the seller interest are empty. And when we populate it using fill handle, that will be zeros multiplied by cost. So how to do this? We need actually to make the address reference for the seller interest absolute. Folks, we spoke about absolute address, and I would like to remind you, so we can convert cell address to the absolute address when we put $ before a letter and $ before number in cell reference. This is a long way to do this, but let me show you the short way. Actually, when we highlight the address of the cell, which must be converted to the absolute reference, when it highlighted, I will use function key F4. F4, look at this, it's immediately populated as $letter, $number. In this case, when we check, we'll see 4140 as before, and now I would like to populate this in other cells, and then you will see different than cost. that is correct because the address for the seller interest will never be changed to the lower addresses. Now, folks, price per tax, price plus tax. So let's move this calculation to the cell D3, and then we will take equal sign, we will put it here, equal sign, then click price, then plus amount of the tax from the price. So we will take multiplication and the price. Look at the address. F3 is amount of taxes which will be taken from the price. Check, and then you will see the first price plus tax definitely is higher than just price. Folks, we need to do the same thing as we did for seller interest. I will highlight F3 and press F4 on keyboard where the function keys. F4. Click, and then you will see absolute cell reference. Enter, and then you will see the price plus tax. What I need to do just to populate this to the adjacent cells, and then you will see everything correct. So what I would like to tell you in this case, folks, that when you need to use tax in adjacent cells, but tax is only one cell, you need to use absolute reference. Absolute reference, folks, is dollar letter dollar number, and you can convert the cell address to the absolute address just with function key F4. Thank you for your attention.